Hey everyone, welcome back. We're starting off this video with the final image. I want you to see the final results first and be conscious about how your eyes moved through the image. Did you find yourself drawn to the man and his horse, and then the lady, and finally the child? Or did you notice things in a different order? Let me know in the comments below, no cheating. How an artist is able to guide the viewer around a painting is by using a tool called composition. And that's what composition does. It takes the viewers by the hand and shows them around the painting in a specific order. If you don't do this correctly, people might find themselves lost or not knowing what the image is about. What am I looking at? What is this about? Why is there a Christmas tree with banana feet? Why is it raining meatballs? And so on. This is especially bad now with social media, when you literally have 2 seconds to catch the viewer's attention. You want them to look at the right thing in those 2 seconds. Let's first talk about what exactly is composition. When I was in college, I was shown a painting that presented composition rules so clearly to me that I have to share it with you here. This is a painting from Jean-Léon Gérôme. Is that how you say it?
Jean-Léon Gérôme.
Yeah, that's too basic.
Jean-Léon Gérôme.
Let's go with French. Anyway, Jean-Léon Gérôme, in his painting The Duel After the Masquerade, covers most of the basics of composition in a very obvious way. You can clearly see value contrast, color contrast, leading lines, or they call them rhythm sometimes, proportion, balance, etc. There are more aspects of composition, but those are enough for now. The combination of all of those things led your eyes towards this group first, and then the other group, and then the rest of the painting. Which brings us back to how you looked at my image at the beginning of the video. My composition was established early in the thumbnail phase, and for the most part it remained unchanged throughout the process. I also wanted to make sure that this was an overcast day. This couple here, this marriage, is separating against their will, and that's usually a sad moment for everyone involved. So I didn't want this to be a bright sunny day. Maybe he's being sent to war or something, I don't know, who knows. That presented some challenges as shadows are almost non-existent in this lighting scenario. Only occlusion shadows are shown. But that's a topic for another day. You can watch Marco's video on that for a more professional introduction to occlusions and shadows. The first one is size. Notice how I'm using size here. The biggest shape goes to the main subject, followed by the secondary one, who is the second biggest. And just to be clear, not all shapes and sizes are deliberate, some are distractions, come on. Contrast, not only is the biggest shape, but also has most of the dark tones against a relatively bright background. The man's face is one of the areas with the highest contrast in the whole image. Again, drawing attention to it. The second highest contrast is the woman with her white and red clothing against the neutral gray behind her. Notice that her white shirt is even brighter than the sky. And a quick side note here, there's a little bit of color play here that I don't know if you noticed. He's green and she's red. He's leaving with her a little bit of himself in the form of a child, also wearing green. And she's leaving with him a little bit of herself in the form of the decoration of the sword, which are red. Did anyone notice? No? Okay, moving on. Framing. The gray house wall serves as a neutral backdrop, allowing the colors to stand out. The posts and beams were meant to frame the woman, but it is not recommended to have straight horizontal and vertical lines in a scene. It flattens things too much. This is the same reason why I changed the chimney shape to not be a square. So because of this, I decided to skew them in a way that still framed the woman, but also pointed at the man. Lines can both lead eyes to the main subject, but also lead them away from the subject. So I had to make sure these were one-way lines by blocking them here with a door and leading them back to the main area with a pathway. You don't want eyes using these lines to wander off of the page. We talked about high contrast. There are areas of low contrast, and they have purpose too, to keep the eye away from those areas. We can look at the fence here as an example of that. Nothing interesting here. Don't look at it. What you looking at? Same here on top of the roof. Lower the contrast to discourage wandering eyes. So hey, listen, I'm not saying this composition is perfect. Far from it. The post here is almost making a tangent with the elbow. And even though I skewed the beams a little bit, they still straight enough to flatten the image and the sense of perspective. The horse looks like a supermodel. I mean, there's probably stuff that I missed, but in the end, the point is that there are rules about composition, and how you go about it is completely up to you. The same way I arranged elements in this painting to serve my needs, you too can move and position things around in your image to serve yours. But you know, experimentation is key. Try different compositions and perspectives and framing techniques. Study the masters like Jean-Léon Gérôme, who exemplify these principles in their work. And above all, remember that I am also learning. These videos may sound like tutorials, but they're more like documentation of my artistic journey, highlighting successes and failures and lessons learned. I try to share what I think is valuable information that I come across while I'm practicing. But I don't really see myself as teaching, quote unquote, teaching in these videos. I'm just a messenger. Take what I say with a grain of salt. Having said that, if you feel like helping out, I mean, you know what to do. That's it for now. Remember that practice is everything, so keep at it. It is not any easier for me than it is for you. We all feel like giving up at some point, but every time you choose to keep going, you separate yourself from those who gave in. And if you do that enough, you'll find yourself ahead of the curve. My socials are down below. Thanks for watching.